Every Secret Service director has, except for one, General Alice, who was appointed by John Kelly. He was the only one that wasn't an agent. So throughout the history of the Secret Service, they do come up like acting director Rowe. He's been in the service, I think, 25 years or something. He's done it all, and he's done that stuff. And there is truth to that. I think it's important.
But like, there's certain things in the chain of commands with situations like this that is classified that you can't get into. But just on a broad level, when someone looks at a director of an agency, right? Like when I look at the director of CIA, I always wonder, you know, all the fucking missions going on in the world at one time, he's one person, she's one person. How do you get read in on that? So now let's, on all of them, right? Like now let's go to the director of the Secret Service. Obviously, she doesn't go to every event that happens. There's a million events happening every day. But she's also got a job to run an entire agency that, as you laid out earlier, includes investigations, all different other kinds of things. So she's one person. She's going to be reported to on a lot of important things, but she's not necessarily like, the way I understand it, if Donald Trump is doing a fucking rally in Butler, PA on a Saturday afternoon, she's not sitting at the command center on a desk on a Bluetooth, you know, saying like, all right, Falcon says yes to that.
Of course.
That doesn't work. So in some respects, there's only so much control she can have once the situation's underway. But are there people, and again, if you can't answer this, no problem, but like, are there people who are specifically designated at a highly senior level to always be the person in the command center, like the NFL has the dudes in New York to review the plays? They're always there for that. Or is there someone like that in any type of public type of event that a person, a high-level protectee is at?
No, not the way you described it. It's not because once again, like I said, every visit, every site's different, and every division. So it's compartment. You know, you have the Presidential Protective Division, and Vice Presidential Protective Division, the Donald Trump Protective Division. You know, all these different divisions that are running the protection in that particular division. So you can't micromanage it from the top, and you're absolutely right. It's incumbent upon the individual division to run itself to a degree while getting help, you know, assets and requests and different things from headquarters. And once again, trying, you know, especially if we get more intelligence that there is a bigger threat against somebody or other different things happen, you know, addressing that as it goes. But I think, to me, and this is just my personal opinion, is I think the main thing you have to have is culture. You know, a winning football team has a great culture, like the Patriots during their heyday when they were rolling over everybody. And that's the thing I think we need to work on. What's our attitude? Let's get back to basics. Let's get back to what we are here for.
You feel like the culture had fallen off the beaten path?
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. We've had there's no question within law enforcement wide we need more police officers, we need more Secret Service agents. We fall under that too. And we have a different, because of the demands of the job, it's harder to retain people here. It's just a fact. And it's always been that way. Attrition's always an issue because it's just a fucking demanding job. And I'm not breaking any news here. But when I say culture, I don't think the culture, I mean, you've seen the whistleblowers and stuff like that. I'm not a by the way, I'm not one of the fucking whistleblowers. Let's make that fucking clear. But you've seen the whistleblowers and people talk about, shit, look at that, your fucking shit-eating grin. You see the people talking about some of the issues they see within the service. I personally don't think it's like what some of them say, but that's how you fix things. It's like, let's focus on what matters. Let's focus on protection. Let's focus on creating and training the best agents we can have. And let's refocus our attention on that. And make sure that, and do what we can. Because I think as far as like getting more agents and getting our workforce bolstered, but with numbers, what that does is also alleviates the pressure on the agents, because the less agent, you know, the job has to get done. Whether you do it with 100 people or 500 people, it's getting done. Right. But just if you only have 100 people, guess what? They're going to get their asses kicked. Yeah. So you got to relieve some of that pressure, I think. And also, going back to complacency, that's how you avoid complacency, is you allow people to have a life outside of it. You know, with family and the things that matter. So when they come back to work, they're focused, ready to go, in shape. You know, they have some time to decompress a little bit. Yeah,
one of a friend of mine, Jim DiOrio, who's been on the show a bunch, he was He was West Point Special Forces for like a decade, and then he was almost 25 years FBI, and got very high level at FBI by the end. And when he left shortly after Comey had left, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things he talks about is also culture, and how when Comey got there, this was a guy from the outside.
Yeah.
He wasn't a guy who had come up through the ranks. Like Jim always talks about Louis Freeh, who from the lawyer side of it came up through the ranks of the FBI and everything, and how much people respected him for that and how good the culture was. And he said he felt like when Comey got there,
Jim Comey, in my opinion, was a narcissistic and is a narcissistic egotist. You know, that's what he is. People are going to think what they're going to think, but they don't need to hear it from that boob. That's as simple as I can say it. That big, lanky, you know, dope.
Did anyone at the FBI like him?
No. He started out, first couple of months, he started out and we were like, maybe. He was calling agents on their cell phone, thanking them for casework. That was good.
Yeah.
Then it just fell apart.
And it's because he tried to put his stamp on
That's what I think. Just the narcissistic behavior just bothered me. His own universe. I mean, there was shit in the book. I'm not going to go page by page, but there was stuff in his book that it was just false. Material, substantively and materialistically wrong.
You know, he almost wasn't in a good position for success because he had come from, you know, the Justice Department and stuff. He came from outside the agency. How important do you think it is to get someone who's really like kind of, you know, maybe someone like you who's been in the agency for years and years and years and understands, worked at the lowest levels all the way up to the highest levers of it?
What's interesting is every director, and we used to call them chiefs, I think, before the 1950s, but every Secret Service director has, except for one, General Alice, who was appointed by John Kelly. He was the only one that wasn't an agent. So throughout the history of the Secret Service, they do come up like acting director Rowe. He's been in the service, I think, 25 years or something. He's done it all, and he's done that stuff. And there is truth to that. I think it's important. I think Director Alice did a great job, he is a great leader because he came from the Marine Corps and he was a great leader as well. But I think that's important because it does lend credibility to it, because they've stood post. They've done all the shit work that the rest of us, you know, the unglamorous stuff, this, you know, not the cool stuff, but the stuff that people don't see. But I don't know, you know, and I can't put a finger on it. But when I say culture, what I'm saying is we need to you have to establish something. Maybe get your swagger back, and we get back on track. Because I mean, this is indicative. This doesn't happen if we were operating exactly the way we should be. This kind of shit shouldn't happen. So it did happen. So I don't know how to address it. I mean, to be honest with you, that's why I would be a terrible director.
Well, to be clear, I'm asking this question because now there's so much anger at the Secret Service. There's only an acting director right now, and there's going to be a change here. And what I'm wondering is if, because everyone in the government from both sides of the aisle is pissed off, they're going to get someone, not that the culture doesn't need improvement right now, obviously it does, but they're going to get someone, you know, bring in some military guy or something and maybe actually not solve the problem, because it's more of it feels more of like, hey, you guys all fucked up, so now we're in charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's way above my pay grade, but I don't know where it goes.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.